my name is Ashley. I'm 33 years old. Today is January 2nd, 2022. It's the new year. I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, Justice and Logan. And my dad recently passed away November 19th, 2021 from COVID pneumonia. I think it was the Delta strain. And I was just thinking, I really wish I would have recorded him answering questions, just kind of being himself. I was thinking that that's exactly what I'm going to do with my husband and I. So our kids and our grandkids, just in case, God forbid, something happens, they can still get to know us. And so, yeah, I'm going to answer a bunch of questions, and I hope my kids appreciate this one day. Okay, so my favorite color is like a deep blue purple. And the reason it's purple is because my dad every spring would plant purple irises and in our backyard, and I just remember how beautiful they were, how like interesting, and I no one else planted those. They were very unique, and especially in Arizona. So how they survived, I don't know. Can't imagine purple irises surviving now, but yeah, it just is very nostalgic to me. I have very good memories of just looking at those flowers every day in the spring. So yeah. So how I met my husband. I met my husband January 2015. For 5 months, I quit a job and I wanted to start my own business. So I got involved in this company called Handy, and it's a cleaning company. And I started passing out flyers and during my house cleanings, so that I could kind of use those customers to start my own business. So, and I did, and I met my husband Kieran, and he for 4.5 hours followed me around, and we just talked the whole time, talked about everything. And so yeah, a month later, I cleaned his house again, and this time it was more organizing than cleaning, organizing his books and his library. So we just got to know each other. And then right around Valentine's Day of 2015, we hung out, and we've been basically seeing each other every day since. He is a software developer, builds custom websites, and he's a genius. His IQ says so, at least. Some things that I love about my husband are that he is very ambitious. He has integrity, and he seeks justice. It bothers him when he is seeing someone being mistreated, and he's a fighter and he has to make it right. And me growing up, I was not that way. I wasn't outspoken, and I just kind of allowed people to take advantage of me, to put words into my mouth. But him, my husband, just has forced me sometimes forced to stand up for myself and to tell him what's wrong, and just kind of be true to myself. And he's helped me to find my voice. Also, I love my husband because he's great with our kids. He has that childlike playfulness in him and is able to let loose. He's more relaxed, and I wish I could be more like that. I'll try to be more like that. In the beginning, I really liked that my husband would cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner for me because I eat so much. And I always have. I've had a high metabolism, and it's slowed down, but I still, it's still kind of there, high-ish. But yeah, no, my husband is a great cook, and he just spoils me with food. With my daughter Justice, when I was pregnant with her, I gained 65 pounds, and she only came out 5 pounds, so I can't blame it on that, but on her. But oh man, I love his cooking. My husband is very good with people. He's very open and he's a good listener, and he really values relationships, and he's a very connected person. So um, he will talk to people for hours and not have um, anything pulling him away from the moment. So he's very present with people, and has a great memory too. So he can remember things that people have said that maybe even they forgot. And sometimes that comes back to bite me when I don't remember I said something. But with other people, it's a great skill to have. And yeah, I feel like I've grown so much. He's 12 years older than me, so it kind of makes sense that he kind of had his shit together. And yeah, but yeah, I've just enjoyed getting to know myself, having someone kind of point out my blind spots. And I gotta say, in the beginning, it wasn't too easy to be forced to think so hard, so much. But I appreciate him, and I would not be who I am and where I am today without him. We have beautiful kids, a great life, and every year, it didn't start out so easy, but every year since I've met him, I've grown. Our vision for the future is exactly the same. We're on the same page about everything. And yeah. Um, yeah, I love my husband. We finally have had our neighbor, Amanda, watch our kids. And it's the first babysitter we've ever paid for. And it was great. And it was 3 hours. And my husband and I finally got to go on a date. We haven't been on one, like a real one, really, since before my daughter was born. But it was the first real romantic date that we actually spent quite a bit of money on. But yeah, we got to do that more. Our kids loved it. They get excited when people come over. So having our neighbor come over, I think they really appreciated that, and it got something out of. So, and so yeah, that's our neighbor over there, right across the street. So religion is a tricky thing for me because I spent 26 years of my life really believing that I was a Christian. I grew up in the church. My mom and my dad would take us to church. One of my early memories was December 31st, 1999. December 21st, 1999. I remember getting my dad's big Old King James Bible, and I was scared. Y2K scared me. I was in 6th grade, and I pulled out that Bible, and all night I was reading it because I thought I was going to die. I thought the world was going to end, and it didn't. And I don't know, looking back at that now, I was so gullible or naive, or I don't know. It's crazy. But yeah, I remember kind of through high school, I was just really busy. I had dance and cheer and marching band. I kind of stopped going to church as much because I was tired on Sundays, and my dad would give me the option. He would always come in and ask me, do you want to go to church with me today? And a lot of the times, most of the times, I would just say no. I just want to sleep in. I'm tired. At 18, those were kind of my rebellious years. I was great up until then, but then in college and stuff, I was just distracted with all the wrong things. So I stopped for a few years going to church, except for, Easter and Christmas. But 22 to 26, I went every Sunday by myself to a church called Cornerstone in what is that, Alma School? Is that Chandler, I think. And So I would read the Bible. I prayed so much, thousands of prayers, man. Um, and I would just talk to God, and I would listen to the music, Christian music. I loved it. I knew all the words. I was just really into it from 22 to 26. And I had a friend in my hip hop class who was a Jehovah's Witness, and I would do Bible studies with her, and she would share things that really spoke to her. And I started becoming very open-minded to other religions, and I would listen to a lot of podcasts and YouTube about those lost books of the Bible, or the Book of Enoch, which I thought was incredible. And yeah, just the Book of Jasher. There was a lot of books that I bought that I was just so into. Well, what's the full story? What's the truth? Like, I really wanted to know what the truth was, and why books were not included in the canon or in the original Bible. So I just started questioning everything, and I didn't have answers for things. The Bible wasn't doing it for me, and my prayers started feeling really empty. And I thought about, one of the questions I asked myself was, have any of my prayers ever been answered? And the truth was no. I mean, my earliest prayers and wishes my birthday wishes would just be, can my parents get back together? I know why that didn't happen. But some of my other prayers would just be, God, please just calm my nerves. I'm having a panic attack. And man, all through school, I had the worst anxiety. And that never happened. So, but prayers for God to give me direction in my life, and direction in choices with guys, choices with my jobs and stuff. Nope, those prayers weren't answered. So that was one red flag, I guess, that discouraged me from wanting to keep doing the same thing over and over, going to church hoping it was going to change. But yeah, my husband really was the catalyst for, use your brain, girl. I mean, come on. I mean, you don't have to be so naive. Just look at things for the way they are. And just, my husband really helped me to question things and seek answers. And I turned to atheism for a while, and I don't believe in a God, sure, or at least the traditional God, but there's still always been a part of me that's a little more mystic and open to the possibilities of something else. And Buddhism really was the thing that spoke to me. I first started researching that, and buying tuning forks, buying crystals, buying a singing bowl, buying beads, and just things that will help me kind of raise my awareness or feel more connected. I was doing a lot of earthing when I was pregnant with my daughter, and there's something in me that is very connected to nature and connected to vibrations and energy, and I sense that stuff, and meditations and stuff have really helped calm me more than prayers have. So if I had to pick a religion, it would be Buddhism. And I love the love and compassion and all the great things that I guess all religions kind of talk about, but it gives me more of a practical application to dealing with suffering and dealing with unfairness in this world, and just, I don't know, accepting it and moving through emotions. And so I do my daily practices. It's only 30 minutes, 45 minutes at most. So with my meditations, I always read like some of the scriptures out of this Lotus Sutra. translated book. And then I'll only read those for maybe 10-15 minutes. And then I'll give my little offering of sage incense to my practice. Kind of puts me in the mood. And then sometimes I'll do my little singing bowl. And I'll just like, and you just close your eyes and you just focus on your breathing. And man, that something about vibrations in these things, it works for me. I also have my little tuning forks that if you guys have never tried this before, I swear to you, it works. I know there's a scientific reason for why this stuff works, but like, you can't even hear it, but it just, yes, these are the shit. So that, and then, okay, so this is something that I got into, but I don't necessarily believe in it because I have done enough experimenting with this to, I don't lie to myself about stuff anymore. So, my crystals, my rocks, and maybe it's just the colors and the earthiness of them that makes me feel good. Just holding them, or man, I used to infuse my water with this. I used to put these out in the sun, in the moonlight, and just hope it soaks up the energy. And yeah, no, I've tried everything, and I don't subscribe to that stuff anymore because maybe I do it long enough, but yeah. So I mean, I do those. Okay, so I got my little rose quartz and mala beads. Every breath is a bead. So there's 108 beads, and you go through the whole thing, and yeah, you just meditate on that, and it helps. So yeah, I'm still open to the possibilities of an afterlife. I'm not really sure what happens. I'm okay with whatever happens, and atheism is what got me there, that if I cease to exist, okay. Well, but in the meantime, making the best out of my life and really trying to positively affect this world while I'm here and value my life is what I'm going to do, because who knows if I have another one, and yeah, so atheism, really everything has impacted the person that I am today, and I'm just trying to do the best that I can. I'm trying to get rid of toxic things, toxic people, and just kind of focus on relationships that are meaningful, and my family and my kids' futures, and trying to be in the present, and yeah, just make the best out of my life. And I feel like since I've been with my husband, I do feel like I've made great choices. There's nothing that I regret. I feel like I've really honored my marriage and honored my kids, and I really did treat my husband as a fresh start, and every choice that I've made since being with him, I'm very proud of. And I hope my kids recognize that. I hope my family recognizes that. I did dance in high school all 4 years, and we were required to do all of it. Modern, contemporary, ballet, hip hop, jazz. And so after I graduated, I still kept taking dance classes at in Tempe, right off of University. I forget what it's called. There is a dance studio there, and I was taking all those classes, Zumba included, in that one. And I just started getting bored of it. So I discovered pole fitness, and I did that for 2 years. I did a competition, and I got first place. And then my studio asked me to teach dance classes there. So I started off just being a substitute teacher whenever they needed me, and I would lead some stretching classes and beginning classes, intermediate, wherever they needed me, I would fill in, and I loved it, and I started to get more comfortable teaching and then improve my skills too. And so I at 4 months pregnant though, I quit, and it took 5 years for me to go back. And I didn't go back to the same studio. I went to one closer in Ahwatukee, and in that studio you have to start from the beginning and then move up. So I started at level 1, and then I stopped doing it at level 8, and then I kind of just gave up on that too for a while. I'll go back, but yeah, I've been distracted with my kids and traveling. Now I have an Airbnb. I've been very busy. So what did I want to be when I grew up? My very first answer was always a mom. And then it kind of changed throughout the years. It was a vet or a naturopathic doctor at one point. I wanted to be a hairstylist or a beautician at one point and go to EVIT. But and then when it came time for me to actually make a decision, I settled with accounting, and I went to school, ASU, for 3 years for accounting, and all I really got was a couple associate's degrees, but I was good at numbers, and I really thought it would be a better job than it was. And I've had some accounting jobs, and it's not what I thought it would be. It's so boring. So my dream job though probably would have been being a baker. I love baking, and I'm very creative too. I really wish I would have gone that route because it's a passion and it's so fun, and yeah. But I mean, I guess I still kind of bake for my kids, so I'm getting some experience doing that, and I'm enjoying it. I remember in high school though, in my anatomy class in high school, I got 113%. I was so good at that. I had a great memory at that time. I don't know about now, but yeah, a lot of extra credit and stuff. But in that, I liked dissecting things. I was just into it. So yeah, maybe I could have done something with that. I wasn't passionate about it. I was just good at it. So that's the difference. I've also really liked music, and I was good at the flute. I'm good at the keyboard now. That's one of my hobbies, is I just like challenging myself with the keyboard. My current hobbies right now are, I like Sudoku, I like numbers, I like practicing the keyboard, I like baking, I like taking my kids places, and I like making YouTube videos. I like creative stuff. I like drawing. I like just making my planner look like a journal, basically. I love journaling. I love writing. I always have. Even in high school, we got the option of doing either creative writing or senior English, and I took creative writing, and I loved writing poems. I loved writing, I think we wrote a screenplay once. Yeah, I love writing short stories and stuff. So in addition to my hobbies, what I really like that I do with my kids, besides homeschooling them, I love to do that, and besides making YouTube videos, is I like making these books for them, and like, it's for every year. And I do the same thing with me and my husband, and we have our own set of books that's just about our journey. But and it's very honest. All this stuff is very honest. Mine and my husband's books are not to be shared, but they're helpful, every year to go back through and see, how we've grown. But with my kids, it's more innocent. So this is my daughter's first year, and of course it has just a bunch of things from her life, her little life. And I got a second one, her third year, her fourth year, her fifth year, and I'm making her sixth one right now. And her birthday's coming up in a few months, so I'll have that one done. And then my son, Logan, is his first year, and his second year, and his third year. He's so cute. I love my kids. I feel so lucky to have them. I feel like, yeah, my husband for sure has helped me to grow, but my kids are reflections of me, you know, and I feel this way about dogs too. Not to, I mean, they both have value. I love dogs. I'm a dog person, clearly. I miss my dog Love. She died November 2020, and my dad died November 2021. So I hate Novembers now because of that. But like dogs, their personalities are reflections of you and the energy and the time and the love you put into them. And kids are the same, you know. I feel very responsible for their happiness and their confidence and their self-esteem. And so the reason I make my kids my life is because I know that responsibility is mine. You know, it's nobody else's. So I take the job very seriously, and sometimes I push away other relationships because my kids are always going to come first. And I know it's the right thing. So I don't ever regret, you know, making my world small at times to do the right thing. And focus on my family. So yeah. I remember in my early 20s, I would always tell myself, if I wasn't married and if I didn't have kids by 30, I was gonna adopt. And that was my plan, and it would have stayed my plan if I hadn't met my husband and had my own kids. But a part of me still does want to adopt or foster. I've applied to Make-A-Wish Foundation just so that I can get that opportunity to really affect a kid's life for the better, and to just, my dad always would tell me to share my talents with other people and be generous with your time, and because that's really more valuable than anything, more valuable than money. Just connecting with people and just being there for them, because a lot of people just want to talk and they just want to feel like someone sees them. And people need love in their life. They need care and to feel like they exist, you know, somewhere to somebody. And I hope I get it. I mean, I have a friend, Susanna, who has been telling me her stories about her Make-A-Wish experiences, and oh man, my heart just aches for these people, these families. Their whole families are affected if one member of the family is suffering. I've recently put ads out to be a childcare provider and stuff, and that's also me trying to create an opportunity to affect the lives of kids positively, and just share my talents and listen to kids and just be a good influence in other people's lives. And I really do, me having kids, I know that they're the future, and I knew, again, the more you invest in a child, the better this world is going to be. And so you got to be there for people. you can see in their eyes, you can see how appreciative they are for just people to pay attention to them. Me as a middle child, like, I just felt invisible in my house. I did not feel like I existed. I was clubbed in with my siblings. I wasn't an individual. With some people, when they get older, they can't relax because they just have so much responsibility. And some of that is them putting it on themselves. It's not necessarily just the kids. But I feel like as a middle child, I was neglected, and which is why I only have 2 kids. I never wanted to recreate that situation in my house. So I only have 2, and it's perfect. I got a boy and a girl, and my girl being the oldest I kind of feel like that's how it should be, you know. And but yeah. Being the middle child too, I was more self-reliant and independent. I built up a self-protection for sure. And there was times in my family I just became a mute, and I would not confide in anybody. I would not share anything about what's going on in my life. I didn't trust my family either. I really didn't trust people, period. But I just made my world very small, and I created my little bubble, my safe bubble. And as I grew older and tried to introduce people into my bubble, I was easily influenced and easily trusting the more I tried to open up. And I got burned for it. And it's my fault for being so easily swayed and trying to, I don't know if I was trying to please people, but I was just trying to be loved and accepted. I always would pray for God to put a man into my life who would be my husband. I was always praying for a husband. And I always naively thought, this is the one, I gotta make it work. This is the one, I gotta make it work. And I would do everything I could to try to make those relationships work. But they were always wrong. All those guys were not the right fit. And so I regret that, thinking, naively thinking that every man was the one. So stupid me. But yeah, so I went through my times of being promiscuous. I always had a job. I always had saved money. So that, you know, at least I had that. And I would go out a lot, and every time I drank, I would get sick and I would throw up 90% of the time. So I could never really hang with the people that were doing, you know, the college stuff. I always kind of preferred to smoke weed versus drink, because my stomach is just so weak. But yeah, so I went through those phases, you know, and I regret it, because if I had people around me, like my husband, who doesn't drink or smoke and never has smoked, I would have stayed on the straight and narrow, what I was actually comfortable with. And I felt like I was really just trying to fit in so much that I lost sight of myself and what was making me happy. And now it's easy with my husband and my kids. It's like, I don't have to pretend to be somebody that I'm not. I can just be myself, and being myself is what my husband wants. He wants somebody who's clean, and that's who I am. I am, you know, I want a clean life, you know? So yeah, no, I'm comfortable with where I'm at right now. There's no pressure. My husband has relieved that pressure from me. So yeah, I guess my vice now is like most people, it's eating sugar. Sugar is my addiction. Growing up, my dad had the sugar addiction too. He also was addicted to chewing tobacco for a long time, but and so was his mom. My grandma was addicted to chewing tobacco too. But yeah, but my I get that from my dad, that sweet tooth, because my mom doesn't have it. It makes me happy and it makes me feel like a kid too, you know. So yeah, there's that. I'll eat my first meal at like sometimes it's 12 or 1 o'clock, and then I'll eat my second meal at like 5, and then I won't eat again. So doing that intermittent fasting and keeping my window really short is making all the difference. And I've always been a physical person, so I've athletic person, so I work out basically every day, no more than maybe 20 minutes, but sometimes 25, 30. But anyways, so yeah, I work out basically every day or do something every day. So that's helping me not put on too much weight. I'm basically at my target weight, which is 130 pounds. I'm 5'6". So yeah, doing the intermittent fasting, keeping my window between 12 and 5, 12 and 6, and then not eating after, not eating too early in the morning is helping me maintain my weight. So yeah, there's that. My husband is very health conscious, so he gets a lot of organic grass-fed stuff. And so with my husband's cooking, there's no way to gain weight. It's really my problem, baking for the kids, baking for myself, that gets us into trouble. So yeah. My favorite food is probably, and this is gonna sound stupid, but I love chicken Caesar salads. Or really, it doesn't even have to have chicken. I just love Caesar salads. I like the anchovy and mayonnaise or whatever is in the dressing. It's just, it does it for me. I remember going on so many dates and that's all I would get, because the flavor, it's not that I'm trying to be a girly health conscious. No, I just love the crunch of lettuce, and I love the dressing of Caesar dressing. So that I can eat that every day. I love oysters. That's my favorite seafood. I hate lobster. I hate shrimp. Nope, I'm not that kind of girl. I am a oyster girl. My husband just took me to a restaurant in Phoenix, downtown Phoenix, and that was I had a Caesar salad, I had oysters, we had everything. I had some veal, which that's with marsala, and that is great too. But the Caesar salad and the oysters were the best thing. So yes, I love that. My favorite dessert would probably have to be tiramisu. And I remember making that all the time. But I haven't really been making it anymore. I really need to. I love Italian food. I like making cannolis. I'm so good at that too. So I really should start doing that stuff more. That specific. My kids really just like cookies and pies and cakes, and so I've been doing those to make them happy. But what makes me happy is cannolis and tiramisu. But yeah. So in February of 2021, we paid off our house in Laveen, this one that I'm in right now, our house in Laveen, Arizona, and then in April bought a condo in Virginia Beach, a block away from the beach, and that's been doing pretty well. In July and August, we furnished it, we renovated it. It's up and working, up and making money right now. So I listed it on Airbnb and Vrbo. Airbnb is it's actually getting a lot of hits, versus Vrbo takes a month for them to pay me anyway. So I don't like using Vrbo, but and I put it on apartments.com, but I actually don't really want long-term tenants or renters in there. So that's not, I make more money doing short-term, rentals. So we're trying to do one or two more short-term rentals, and then we want to move to Europe. And my husband has dual citizenship, so we can move to England. However, it's very expensive out there. He wants to move to Cornwall, but yeah, I think we might do Lisbon, Portugal, because it's one of the safest countries in the world to live in. There's so much culture, and it's cheaper to get a house there, a nice house there. So our goal in the next couple years is to move to Portugal. And my husband has a really good friend in Spain, so that's right there. He can see him frequently. And so yeah, that's our dream, is to just get out of the country at least for a few years, and to get just more of an education and a life experience and adventure. And living in Arizona is really driving me crazy. I've been here my whole life, and I just want out. I want out. I'm tired of the heat. I'm tired of, dare I say, some of the people. I want something different. And yeah, I just want something different. And yeah, and who knows? I mean, just getting that experience somewhere else. Of course, I'm sure I'll get homesick, and I'll want to come back at least for the winters, because I can't survive the snow. I have warm blood now. So I need the sun to survive. I mean, I'm part black, so of course. Yeah, so I hope to go abroad for a few years, and then to always have our home here in Levine to come back to during the winters. But during the summers, I don't want to live here in the summer. So maybe we'll just do 6 months after that, 6 months here, 6 months there. So yeah. And just traveling in Europe is just the beginning. That's a great start off point. And then after that, we'll maybe go to Malaysia and Singapore and, Cambodia and Thailand and South America. And, there's so many places. I'm excited for all that. Hopefully I'm still alive. I know I'm only 33, but I haven't lived yet. I've lived as far as having kids and a husband, but travel adds a whole nother dimension to you. And I've been lacking that culture and that eye-opening awareness of just what's out there, So I'm excited about that. So I hope you liked my video. Please stay tuned for some more questions and answers with me, Ashley Guller. Bye.